Did you know your body produces less than half the sleep hormone at 70 than it did at 30? This might explain why you're lying awake at 3 a.m., wondering what happened to those nights when you could sleep through anything. I'm Dr. Elliot Graves. After dedicating over 30 years to geriatric medicine, I've helped thousands of seniors overcome the sleep challenges that come with aging. And I've discovered it's not just about getting older. There are specific biological changes we can address. In today's video, I'll explain the critical hormone that declines as we age, how this disrupts your sleep architecture, and most importantly, the 3 most effective strategies my patients have used to restore deep, restorative sleep without depending on sleeping pills. Now, let's dive into what's really happening with your sleep as you age. Let's begin with the science behind these changes and the proven solutions that have helped hundreds of my patients. Point 1. Understanding melatonin decline. Liam, age 68, first came to my office. He hadn't slept more than 4 hours straight in over 2 years. "Dr. Graves," he told me, "I've tried everything, warm milk, counting sheep, even those meditation apps my grandson installed on my phone. Nothing works." What Liam didn't realize was that his body was producing significantly less melatonin than it did decades ago. Melatonin is our primary sleep-regulating hormone, and production typically peaks in our 20s. By age 60, most people produce only 30–50% of what they once did. This decline happens because the pineal gland in our brain, which secretes melatonin, undergoes calcification as we age. Additionally, age-related changes to our eyes reduce the amount of light signals sent to our brain's circadian control center. For Liam, understanding this wasn't just educational, it was liberating. He wasn't doing anything wrong. His body was experiencing a natural change that required adaptation. Point 2. The cortisol connection. Noah, a retired professor at 74, complained of waking up at 4 a.m. every morning, feeling anxious and unable to fall back asleep. "What's interesting," I told Noah, "is that your sleep problem might actually be a stress hormone problem." You see, cortisol, our primary stress hormone, follows a natural rhythm that changes with age. In younger adults, cortisol levels gradually decrease throughout the day, reaching their lowest point at night when melatonin rises. But after 60, this balance often shifts. Cortisol levels may rise earlier in the morning or remain elevated throughout the night. This creates a hormonal tug-of-war, where stress hormones are essentially fighting your sleep hormones. Noah was skeptical at first. "But I don't feel stressed," he insisted. What he didn't realize was that cortisol elevation isn't always connected to felt stress. It can be influenced by inflammation, blood sugar fluctuations, and even the timing of your meals. When Noah implemented a specific evening routine to lower cortisol, which I'll share in a moment, he began sleeping through until 6 a.m., something he hadn't done in years. Point 3. 3 effective solutions. Solution 1. Strategic light exposure. Remember Liam? His transformation began with light therapy. I recommended he purchase an inexpensive light therapy lamp about 10 lux and use it for 20–30 minutes each morning while having breakfast. The science here is fascinating. Bright morning light doesn't just help you wake up, it actually resets your entire circadian rhythm, signaling to your body when to produce melatonin later in the day. Just as important, I asked Liam to reduce blue light exposure after sunset. He installed a blue light filter on his devices and began wearing amber-tinted glasses in the evening. Within 2 weeks, he reported falling asleep within 20 minutes of going to bed instead of his usual 2 hours. Solution 2. Timing matters more than duration. For Noah, the retired professor with early morning awakening, we focused on cortisol management. I recommended a consistent bedtime routine that included no food within 3 hours of bedtime. Late meals can spike cortisol. A 10-minute warm shower or bath 90 minutes before bed. The subsequent cooling triggers melatonin release. Writing down tomorrow's tasks and concerns before bed. This technique, called cognitive offloading, reduces nighttime cortisol spikes. I also suggested he move his daily walk from evening to morning. Exercise raises cortisol temporarily, and evening exercise was keeping his levels elevated at night. Within a month, Noah was sleeping until his alarm and reported feeling more rested than he had in years. Solution 3. Strategic supplementation. Oliver, 77, had tried both light therapy and timing adjustments with modest results. For him, we carefully added supplement support. I recommended 1-3 milligrams of melatonin, much less than what most commercial supplements contain, taken 2 hours before his desired bedtime. This helps compensate for the natural decline without overshooting and causing grogginess. We also added 300 milligrams of magnesium glycinate before bed, which supports GABA, a calming neurotransmitter that counterbalances cortisol effects. Finally, I suggested a small amount of glycine, an amino acid that lowers core body temperature, in warm water before bed. Within 3 weeks, Oliver was experiencing what he called miracle sleep, 7 hours straight without waking, something he hadn't enjoyed since his 50s. Important note, while these supplements are generally safe, please always consult with your doctor before starting any new supplement or medication, especially if you're taking prescription medications or have kidney issues. What works for one person may not be appropriate for another, and your doctor can help determine the right approach for your specific health situation. So there you have it. The hormonal changes affecting your sleep after 60 are real, but they're not insurmountable. Remember these 3 approaches. 1. Strategic light exposure. Bright light in the morning, reduced blue light at night. 2. Timing adjustments to manage your cortisol rhythm. 3. Careful supplementation to support your body's changing needs. You don't need to implement everything at once. Start with the light exposure, which has the strongest evidence base and is completely free if you use natural sunlight. As I always tell my patients, your body hasn't forgotten how to sleep. It just needs updated instructions for this new chapter of life. I encourage you to write down these 3 approaches right now and share them with a friend who might be struggling with sleep. Sometimes the simplest changes can make the biggest difference in someone's quality of life. Tell me in the comments which of these approaches you're most interested in trying. And if this information was helpful, consider subscribing for more insights from my 3 decades working with seniors just like you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Remember, better sleep isn't just about feeling more rested. It's about giving your body the foundation it needs to heal, regenerate, and thrive. You deserve that gift. Until next time, this is Dr. Elliot Graves wishing you sweet dreams and rejuvenating rest. See you in the next video.